The Redskins' bye week is come and gone, but now without some more quarterback controversy, DY. This time, courtesy of a star wide receiver. We'll talk about that, get you ready for Sunday's game against the Bucs, and take your calls as well tonight on After the Game with Darrel Young.
Live from News Channel 8, this is After the Game with Darrel Young.
All the players are ready to get back on the field. You know, you lay an egg in Minnesota. You have to have a bye week, unfortunately, but I think guys are excited to start the last 7 games and hopefully rally.
Oh, I get it. Laying the big green egg, DY. That was Jay Gruden today. Redskins are now back from their bye. They were back on the practice field today, hoping to make some noise these last 7 games, starting Sunday at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. After the Game with Darrel Young, I'm Alex Parker. DY, how are you?
I'm good. Refreshed.
I'm talking about making some noise. They're always making noise at Redskins Park. We will get to that. What'd you do over the bye week?
Went home to mom and dad, relaxed, ate some food, gained about 3 or 4 pounds, so I got to run it off now.
What'd you eat?
Oh, ribs, chicken, steak, everything you could think of.
And your dad does all this, correct?
All of it. Barbecuing in the winter for me. That's why I love him.
Did you bring some back?
I
We could put in the egg.
I did not bring any back.
Cool. How did it feel out there at practice today?
Rough, struggle, breathing. First day back.
The ribs?
Everything. Back was tight.
Feel good though to be back?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, we needed it. I think a mental break from the game was needed for this team, for myself included. You know, we want to go forward with these things. You got to get a way to kind of find where yourself is, right? You know, where you are right there as a team, as a person. You know, just kind of look yourself in the mirror, and that's what I did for myself. So, you know, moving forward with this thing, I'm excited about, you know, the opportunity that's in front of us.
What'd you say when you looked in the mirror? I know you saw you. I mean, collectively, when the Redskins look at their mirror, what do they see?
I looked at a team who's, you know, basically been in a situation that, you know, we've been basically disappointing ourselves. But I look at the talent that we have, everything that we talked about in the offseason, everything, you know, what the media has been preaching in terms of what guys can do, you know, basically potential, you know. Where can we go with this thing? And that's what I looked at, and I said, hey, why are we 3-6? You know, Coach broke down, you know, stats to us today. Broke down all the things that, you know, all the reasons. The only reason he came up was, you know, we're -9 in takeaways, you know, and giveaways. So, I mean, you eliminate the turnovers, you know, we're easily a different ball club, but that's the name of the game, and we got to protect the ball and do some different things in the second half of the season.
703-387-1020 is our lawn and leisure hotline. Give us a call. You can talk to DY about the Redskins as they move forth now to the final 7 games. We mentioned making noise at Redskins Park. It's never quiet, even when it's a bye week.
Always.
By now, you've heard of Deshaun Jackson's comments yesterday on the Fox pregame show. I think we have the quote from Deshaun. You knew this well before we knew it. We didn't know that Deshaun held this sort of meeting or got up at a meeting and spoke on behalf of RG3. Quote, Deshaun told the Fox gang, when the past decision was made for Colt to be benched and RG3 to come in and start, you kind of feel guys feeling a certain way about that. In the locker room, Deshaun, had to stand up and say something like, as players, that is not our job. We can't worry about that. We found out about this yesterday. You lived this meeting. When was it? What was it like?
It was last week. I believe it was Tuesday before we broke out of here. Just saying that, you know, regardless of what the situation is, Rob is our quarterback. That's what Coach, you know, that's the situation Coach put us in. And, you know, we can't worry about anything else. We can't, you know, determine who's going to be the starter, regardless of how guys feel. And I don't think anyone felt negative, you know, in that situation. But hey, it was needed to be said just to clear up the air for, you know, anyone out there just thinking that was something different, you know, different feeling from everyone.
So you're in this meeting, and he wasn't scheduled to speak, right? He just sort of got up and said, I need to say something. How did this go down?
I don't know if he talked to Coach Gruden before or, you know, during the meeting or whatever it was, but he stood up after the meeting. You know, the coaches sat down and he said, hey, you know, this is what we want to do. You know, we want to go out there, you know, Griff's our quarterback. And then, you know, gave his whole little spiel about, you know, where we're trying to go with this thing and, you know, what really matters. And, you know, a lot of questions were asked today about how I felt about it. Well, you know, I'm still learning Deshaun too. You know, I've only been around him 6 months. So, you know, everyone's saying that, you know, he's a quiet guy, and you heard reports in Philly of who he was and all that. I like the guy. I respect the guy. And when he stood up there and said that, I said, how can I not respect the guy who, you know, basically has done what he's done in the league and, you know, and standing up in front of a team and trying to, you know, make this team better when all the reports were out there saying, you know, he's a lazy guy. He's not the, you know, player that everyone thought he was. Well, he's putting up numbers and, you know, now he's backing up with his word. And I don't see one reason why guys can't, you know, have his back.
Were you surprised that he got up and spoke? He does seem to us as pretty quiet.
He is pretty quiet. He says things, to individual people. I'll mess with him during the week, or I'll go over there and punch his helmet or something like that. But other than that, I mean, he's one of those guys that he's going to go out there and show you what he's going to do, and kind of make, you see him up in people's faces every play after plays, and he makes a touchdown and dance and all that stuff. You love it, but to see him actually get there and say, and stand up in front of the team and say, hey, this is my team. This is what I want to do, and if I'm making the plays, and this is, I have to be the guy to stand out to do it, I'm going to do it. So that's what you want.
Inherent in his statement, though, is something about guys feeling a certain way about that. Inherent in this, I guess, is at least he thought that some of the 53 weren't on board with the switch back to Robert, or else he wouldn't have said this. Did you get that sense?
Well, like I said, Deshaun's still learning a lot of guys, just like we're learning Deshaun because he's a new member to this team. And, the core guys who've been a part of this unit know how we feel about Robert. We went on a 7-game win streak. We won the NFC East, with Robert. So, like I said, he's an outsider looking in kind of at first, and now he's, we're starting to get that bond. And, when he says that, you kind of looking, wondering who's saying the things, but we'll never know who says it. We'll never know what really goes on in people's minds. But we do know that Robert's a starter, and we do know we have to have his back.
Are you glad that Deshaun, or whomever, in this case Deshaun, got up, said this? Is that sort of therapeutic in any way? Is it a good thing that this happened?
It is a good thing. I mean, there was a lot of questions about leadership, going to the bye week, prior weeks before that. So I think, you look at, what he's doing for this team. I mean, he's stepping up, and then he said it to you guys that he's stepping up. So, I expect not a different, Deshaun Jackson. I expect the guy who's going to continue to do what do what he's been doing, and, continue to grow.
We did not get a chance to talk to Robert today, media-wise. He'll talk Wednesday. What was he like today? I mean, I get the sense he hears and sees everything as well. Did you talk to him at all today?
I did talk to him today, and I mean, one of the most important things for him this week was to get away. I don't know what he did with him and his, with his wife, and they did some things, and I just said, hey, did you get away from the game? That's all I need to know. Clear your mind, come back, let's win these games. Let's do what we do. Don't worry about anything else from here. We're going to take this one game at a time and go from there with things.
703-387-1020 is our lawn and leisure hotline. Bob is in Gaithersburg tonight. Hey, Bob, what's up?
Hey, Alex. I
What's
love
up?
your show.
Thank you.
RG3, I don't think I would start him. I would go for Colt McCoy.
Here we go, D.Y.
And we're going to have a huge problem with Tampa Bay. And I need the defense to...
Okay, Bob. We're going to let Bob go. Bob on line 1 at Gaithersburg on the lawn and leisure hotline. D.Y., how does this... We know winning games can fix all this.
Yeah.
But while we're waiting to win some football games, how does this end? The RG, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Colt, maybe Kirk. How does this end?
This is what you do. You look at what Robert's done. I said this, early in the interview. I think he's only missed 5 games in his career, and that's this year because of a dislocated foot. He's 1-2 in this season, because he technically got the win because he started the game in Jacksonville. So, looking at what we're doing with things, it's disappointing that we lost to Minnesota. Yeah, it's disappointing we lost to Houston. Lost some games in between there and all that other stuff. But Robert's our quarterback. I'm not worried about, what the stats say. What's in front of us right now? We're a 3-6 ball club who's trying to get to 4-6. Now, like you said, we're going to have problems with Tampa, because they're an NFL football team, who has potential, and they're 1-8. They're struggling. But I know Lovie Smith. I know the personnel that they have. They're not supposed to be a 1-8 ball club. You look at a guy like Darrel McCoy, who consistently makes plays. Levante David is one of the most underrated linebackers in the NFL. And you got a safety in Deshaun Goldstein, who's basically a Pro Bowl guy in San Francisco, who's just trying to find a fit in Tampa Bay, and he's one of those guys that hit you. So we know what we're going to get. Tampa 2 is going to be Lovie style. You got to beat it. And I think looking back at the games that they lost, Atlanta did a good job. Basically getting after him. Cleveland did a great job. It's just kind of similar to our offense. You're looking at a guy like Kyle. So, looking at it from that, we're going to have a problem with every team because every team's going to do something different.
They all get paid to play.
At the end of the day, you just got to go play. Don't worry about, what stats say about anything. 1-8 with 3-6. Let's just win this game to get to 4-6, and we'll be talking about how good Robert is next week.
Line 2 on our lawn and leisure hotline is Rick in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are y'all?
Good. Say hi to DY. What's up?
Hey, I got a question for you. Have y'all ever heard the quote, "If not broke, don't fix it"?
I have. DY has too, I'm sure. What's up?
Yeah. McCoy come in. He played super in 2 games. He played excellent in the Cowboys game. It looked like to me the line blocked a whole lot better for him than RG3. Looks like when RG3's in there, they just don't block.
Okay, Rick in Fredericksburg. DY, the quarterback thing, we know it's not going anywhere. until Robert wins a game. This notion that the offensive line blocks differently, can you, I imagine, put this to rest?
I mean, they're two
Or no?
different quarterbacks. I mean, Robert, you know, like I said, the comparison we make every week, Russell Wilson doesn't get talked about how he scrambles and makes plays. He doesn't get talked about how he holds the ball so much, you know. So I think, you know, when you win games, all the noise doesn't matter because, like I said, you know, no disrespect to Rick, but he probably loved RG3 2 years ago when he was scrambling around saying that the same offensive line that's not blocking as well for him, you know, which is the same 5 guys, you know, they're doing a heck of a job. So, I mean, like I said, defenses are getting better, just adjusting to things. We just got to execute better. So, you know, on Robert's hand, like I said, I'm going to support him in everything that we do, and we just got to get better and scoring touchdowns as opposed to putting up field goals.
703-387-1020, our Lawn and Leisure hotline. Got to do a break. I want to talk to DY. Can the Redskins repeat the 2012 deal? They're in the same spot. Now the hard part, they got to win 7 games in a row. Callers, please take note. It's big, it is green, it is our big green egg. It can be your big green egg. Everybody that calls in and gets through on the Lawn and Leisure hotline will be registered to win the big green egg. Go to WJLA.com/big green egg. We'll be back with DY after this. Here's your injury report brought to you by the Cochran Law Firm. Redskins on a bye, no real injury news, but there is this. Barry Cofield has missed all season so far, expected to be activated from the injured list later this week. D-line will get a much-needed big body in there if that happens. Big injury news out of Arizona. What a shame, DY. Carson Palmer. It's good that he just signed that big contract. Torn ACL in his left knee. Arizona, one of, if not the best team in football so far. Carson Palmer out for the Cardinals. That is your Cochran Law Firm injury report. Welcome back to After the Game with Darrel Young. I say it every week. I'm surprised there aren't more injuries, and B, you guys deserve every dime you make because it can go like that.
Absolutely. I'm a living example of it.
We talked about 2012 a little bit. I believe 2 years ago, right this very moment, you guys were 3-6, coming off a bye.
Coming off a loss to Carolina, going into a bye week, you know, it was an emotional season in the sense where, you know, we had guys who believed, and, you know, that's what we need to do right now. We just have to have a group of guys who believe, who understand what we're trying to do. You know, Coach told us today it'll be a long shot to make the playoffs. We understand it, but Shanahan said the same thing. You know, we need some things to happen.
Shanahan essentially threw the towel in. Either it was on purpose and it fired you guys up, or it was like dumb luck.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But Mike said, well, we'll start playing for next year.
Well, you know,
you guys didn't lose until January.
I don't think he said it, you know, start playing for next year. I think he just challenged us in the locker room, if I remember, you know, his conversation. And yeah, I think what he said came off wrong to the media. He did explain that to us, you know. So looking at it like that, like I said, we understand what, you know, the task at hand is, and we just got to go out there and win some games. And the first task is, you know, Tampa Bay.
The notion that you've done it before, and there we see the game, the NFC East clinching win over Dallas in that final year. I know you got to take one at a time, but you have done this before.
We have done it before. I tried to compare the schedules a little bit too in terms of competition and who was ranked where, and I did some things earlier, but you know, it didn't work out too well.
I think we have the next 4 games. There you go, DY. I see 4 wins. I don't know about you.
I see 4.
Tampa, you really should win that game here. At San Fran, very tough. At Indy, very tough. And then we'll get there when we get there, but the Rams come to town on this, week 14. Season flies by. Jay Gruden, he was asked today about what he's sort of learned about it. Now 9 games in. What have you learned about him 9 games in?
He's one of those guys who demands perfection. You know, everyone says that from the head coach, but I like his sense of humor, his style of coaching, and I think, you know, this year was kind of to, you know, see where we're at as a ball club, and, you know, obviously throw some things out there. Obviously you want to win and stuff like that, but you got to learn your personnel, and you got to form a bond with the coaching staff. You know, I'm not saying they argue on the sideline sometimes too, but there might be a little confusion in terms of what they want to do play-wise and stuff like that, and, you know, where to use guys where, you know, here and there. So I think, you know, after a year, you kind of find out where you are and you move forward, and that's the good thing about the NFL.
Here's Jay Gruden earlier today. The one thing we love about him is Jay Gruden usually tells it exactly like it is.
Obviously, the Minnesota game, we're still sickened by that one. Frustrated, obviously, but there are some things the last 3 weeks that we've accomplished that are pretty darn good, both sides of the ball and special teams. So I think moving forward, I think people can see that we have the makings of a good football team. We just got to put it all together and stay consistent in our approach and how we play.
Jay Gruden, the makings of a good football team. 703-387-1020 is our lawn and leisure hotline. DY, let's go to Marlon in Southeast Washington on line 4. Hi, Marlon. What's up?
Hey, DY, what's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right, man. I just want to tell y'all, man, I'm behind y'all, man. You know, we was like this 2 years ago, and you right. Everybody was rooting for him, you know what I'm saying, when he was scrambling and doing all that. Now it's like he fell off. Ain't nobody behind him. But, hey, man, I'm here to tell you 202 is behind y'all, man.
Appreciate
you know?
it.
Thank you, Marlon. Thank you very much. Mary Kay is in Northwest Washington on line 1. Hi, Mary Kay. How are you?
I'm doing good.
What's up?
I'm just calling to tell you I got y'all back, too, because I'm a Redskins fan, a diehard fan. And I love the way y'all playing. Y'all playing better than what y'all used to play. And y'all just keep y'all head up because I pray for y'all every day. And I sit back safely and watch y'all game. Y'all doing good.
Okay. Mary Kay, thank you for the call. I've said this before, Redskins fans, DY. Well, long before you got here.
Loyal.
Very loyal. I think they're the most loyal in all of sports.
They got to be. A team that goes 3-13 and we get that many people come to training camp.
I know. I mean, really, for 20 years, save for 1999 and 2 runs with Gibbs that were sort of spur-of-the-moment runs, and then the 2012 run, you take those 4 away in the last 20 years, and it's been, dare I say, bad. And these folks are with you every Sunday, every August, every day.
Every day. Love it.
We got to do a break. We come back, our play of the day. We may have DY read this one. In fact, I know we'll have DY read this one. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you time to think about this. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, all 3 right now playing lights out. If you had to pick one for your guy, who will it be? That and more after this. Don't go away.
Here's our play of the game, brought to you by our good friends at Normandy Carpet Care. We're on a bye week, so let's go to Detroit for what is our play of the day. Brent Grimes trying to cover Calvin Johnson. A mismatch, you think, right? Not when you make a catch like this, one-handed. Miami corner Brent Grimes with your Normandy Carpet Care play of the game.
Welcome back to After the Game with Darrel Young, DY with the play of the game there. Back to the phones we go, and then I need to ask you the quarterback question.
Man.
And you can't pick RG. Wakil is in Northeast Washington tonight. Hi, Wakil. How are you?
What's up, my man? How y'all doing, Mr. Parker and DY?
We're good, buddy. What's up?
All right, I'm calling from the Dash Street Barbershop, and all I can say is we beat Dallas, man. That's all I can say. We beat Dallas.
You did beat Dallas. Wakil, you one of these guys, as long as they win those 2 games, no matter what else happens, it's just kind of gravy?
Basically, as long as we lay it down against Dallas, we good.
Okay, Wakil in Northeast, thank you. A lot of folks think that way. Do you think that way? I mean, you'd rather have 9. Wouldn't you rather go 9-7 and lose to Dallas twice than go 4-12 and beat Dallas twice, or no?
If we make the playoffs at 9-7, yeah, but.
But if not, if no playoffs, then you just want to beat Dallas.
Just beat Dallas.
Quickly, Anthony is in Centerville tonight. Hi, Anthony. What's up?
How you going?
Good. What's going on?
All right. I would like to ask, why they don't give Garcon, some plays? Why don't make more plays for him?
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Pierre, who had 113 catches last year, not on that pace. It would be impossible to be on that pace with Deshaun on the other side. Why not more action for Pierre?
Well, you look at an ex-receiver. If you know anything about football, ex-receiver is usually the guy that makes your plays. He's your best route run. He's the guy that gets open. Well, teams aren't stupid. He had 113, receptions last year, but I still think he's leading the team in receptions. If not, he's, right there. But I think he is leading the team in receptions. So I think you just look at, you got a lot. I can't say a lot more talent than we had, but you got some more weapons in terms of, threats that teams have to respect. So I think, you try to take Pierre away, and then you get tight ends open. That's why Niles Paul was getting, hot and early in the season. Then you look at Andre Roberts coming in, and he probably has the most targets coming to you. So I think teams have been doing a good job, but Pierre's been doing a great job of running routes too. But we just got to find him, So got to be better. Maybe we'll go on this 7-game stretch. Remember, he was 9-2 that year, so we'll see.
Not sure if you watched football yesterday on your bye. Tom Brady had a bye as well, I believe. Aaron Rodgers, 6 touchdowns in the first half last night. Here's Aaron against Chicago. This game was over in about 10 minutes. Peyton Manning, 5 touchdowns against Oakland. The cream has risen to the top between Brady, Manning, and Rodgers. You can't pick RG. You can pick one of those 3 to be your quarterback. Who would it be, DY?
I'm going to have to go Aaron Rodgers right now. He's the youngest out of all those guys.
Yeah,
so,
he's something, man.
Yeah, all those guys are special. I mean, they're all leading their ball clubs to win, so that's all it's about right now. Game's about wins and losses.
Here's Peyton yesterday. I mean, it's like he had 5 against Oakland. I know Oakland's not very good, or not any good, frankly. But it's like you don't even think about it. Like 5 touchdowns. It's like ho-hum for him. It really is something. We've got to do a break. More with DY on After the Game with Darrel Young after this. Darrel Young, congratulations. The Redskins tweeted out today. Of course, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Darrel Young is up for the USAA Salute to Service Award for all of your outstanding work with the military. Your brother serves. Congratulations. As much as you love football, that's a bigger deal.
Yeah, it is. I have a great appreciation, for what the military does. A lot goes unnoticed what they do. Like I said, I have a brother who's in there. I understand what he goes through when he goes overseas, leaves his kids, and just the problems that come along with basically being overseas and not having internet and all the food that you want. So, first of all, thank you to all the troops that are out there. And like I said, my brother's in there, so I'm always going to have a different type of feeling towards what those guys go through, and I understand. And my brother has a wife right now who's serving overseas. So I think Just trying to be better.
Please thank them for us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great Veterans Day. We'll see you soon out at the park. I'll be back at 9 o'clock, Toyota Sports Talk. We'll take your calls on the Redskins then, too. Take care, folks.